The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. My voice is way too low, but we're going to power through. Welcome to
Yes.
New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives and surviving. Frank.
Yes, absolutely.
My name is Trevor, and this is our triumphant return. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
And I'm Jeff, recovering from illnesses. I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old.
I'll say this, we've tried so hard to get this recording done.
It is almost impossible sometimes. It's just...
It's like a gaming quest. Like the amount of like challenges we faced, like the nightly conversations almost where it's like, hey, can we do it? Like, oh God, everything I touch is sick. I can't do it tonight.
Right.
Like,
I'm waiting for the power-ups. Come on. Games have power-ups. Where are my life power-ups? Let's go.
Or an NPC just to help. Like, geez.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, but we got just like...
It's been rough.
Man, we have gotten plastered. So, on my side... There's just been a certain regression as far as sleeping and getting the kids to sleep. Like we're starting it at any time around 6:30.
Oh wow, okay.
Like 6:30, they're fed, and it's like, okay, we do a bath, but we let it have a nice long bath so they're able to kind of get some crazy out books, rock and everything else. And somehow, some nights they are not asleep until 8, 9, 10. Like it's just like we're starting so early and yet it gets there. Like, God.
Wow. That's a big part of your day too. Just that wind down routine. And then you have your own wind down routine, which is like pass out on the couch or whatever. So
stumble out of their room and pass out. Like you hardly make it into the bed.
Yeah.
Just fall down the stairs as I'm already asleep before I even hit the ground.
That's right. Yeah. Wow, that's brutal. That's not what you want.
So it's been a regression, but like they're generally getting asleep on a good hour. I'll say that. Like we usually succeed before 8:30.
Good.
But
yeah.
But some nights, nah, man. Like
not gonna happen.
And then anytime they're up around like one, they try to wake up at 4 one day, and then it's like 5 or 6. So it's just that window between like 4:30 on the worst days, but more like 5 to 6:30. Like, oh
yeah, no, not gonna happen. And like on my side of things, it's pretty much the same thing. I think what did it was, again, everyone's kind of been sick. It's been going around. My son, oldest son, is still snotty nose, and I'm getting over stuff, or like it's still in me somewhere. Our Halloween here in Canada, specifically around Toronto, was rainy and horrible. Mm-hmm. But when you have a 9 and 6-year-old, they still want to go out. So almost 120 minutes in the rain and cold, and everyone is soaked and like just cold. Probably didn't help things. So I think we all kind of got that coupled with the daylight savings time change. So it's just like a perfect storm of horrible. And it caught up to us. So we're just trying to get back into the swing of things, and it's so dark all the time. So it's just like, oh geez. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
I hadn't really planned to show this, but there was like I swear this happened like in my neighborhood. Oh no, okay, this is like I heard legend from a parent from school where like some parents in my area had pulled this move, and what we're looking at is a host of parents holding a kind of a portable or like quick build, like a garage. If you imagine like one of those garages that you can kind of erect yourself, where it's just pipes and a tarp. And like parents have now like grabbed 4 corners of it and are just marching it, protecting their like dressed kids. I think we had one of these rolling in our neighborhood.
It's really genius. Like that's what I needed. So I'm keeping that in mind.
That's your next year.
Yeah. Get the neighbors together, get everyone out. So I'm soaked.
All right. So we start with a question. So the way we want to roll this today is we had there's a massive amount of Blizzard announcements at BlizzCon recently. Yep. Like all games updated across the board. As an announcement, people were flying off to handle it. Sounds like an amazing event. As well as like the Outer Worlds being so well received.
Yes.
As an incredible game launched. But before all of that, quick question.
Okay.
As somebody who owns both, specifically, I was asked by a gaming dad, do I go with a Nintendo Switch? So he's looking to bring a console or like some gaming into the household.
Yep.
But he's starting at nothing. He has nothing.
Right.
So is it wiser for him, and he has a 2 5-year-olds and a 7-year-old.
Okay.
Is it wiser for him to get a Nintendo Switch or something like an iPad and Apple Arcade? And I ask this because I know you have
yes.
a Switch and you are, I think, enjoying Apple Arcade.
Yes.
So how's that strike you? Where do you go?
That's a good question. I think when we went through that 30-day trial of Apple Arcade, I found a lot of cool games to kind of introduce to the kids that they enjoyed. But that being said, I didn't keep it just because they were small experiences that were great. But I don't think it can hold a candle to something like Mario. And just the enjoyment I see my kids get from that. And I know that's a little bit more expensive. Well, it's a lot more expensive, especially here in Canada, where it's $80 for any sort of Nintendo game worthwhile.
Any game. It doesn't matter if it's 2 years old either. It'll still be $80.
Yeah, but it tends to hold their attention a lot more, and I find that they get more out of it versus especially with the subscription, I found, and maybe it was just the trial, we were just hopping through games too quickly. Like, it just almost made them their attention would shift too much to the next one. Like, what's the next one that I can download, and what's the next one I can do, because they didn't have to worry about paying for anything. So I would almost go for the Switch. I am a big Switch fan, and I didn't think I would be, but I think having that portability and even the option to have more people play at once could be worthwhile. That would be my thing.
So that's kind of interesting. I honestly kind of thought you'd fall on the other side.
Yeah.
With some of the recommendations you had from Apple Arcade.
There's a lot of good ones out there. It just seems like they're not as like in depth of a console game. So I guess it kind of depends on the experience you want too, right? They're great games, but did you ever have like a multiplayer experience with Apple Arcade? There was one online one. It was kind of like there was the kart racing, the Sonic one, and then like this Rocket League-esque game that was online. I don't really like it.
I meant more like local. Like you.
Oh, local.
Two your kids could play.
No, we had issues trying to do that because with the subscription, I thought you could get it on your Mac, but you need to upgrade your whole operating system, which I wasn't going to do with all the programs I have running on the one that's stable. So I didn't have a chance to do that.
That's stable. The one that doesn't smoke when I turn it on.
Right. So that didn't happen. And then my iPhone is relatively new, and our iPad is like 6 generations old. So it's not even a part of Apple Arcade. So we didn't have a local game. I guess if you had more than one device that was kind of more up to date, it would make more sense. But then I think of the Switch of, two people can play the same game anyway with the Joy-Cons. So like Mario Party or something that's right there. So it's a little bit more powerful that way. The iPad can be used for a ton of other stuff though, if they're in school, and like a lot of the stuff is shifting towards iPad learning. So I don't know. I would switch it though.
That always feels like a weak argument to me.
Yeah, I know. Just Nintendo Switch.
But it's the learning.
I tried to throw that in there, but you justify it somewhere else.
Okay. Yeah, so the Switch. And I think something about the little Joy-Cons, Mario Kart, give them a Joy-Con.
Definitely.
It's just like it. Such a fantastic game. High quality. The kart's amazing.
Feeds your soul. Love it.
Yeah. So, all right, so we have a winner. If any gaming dads that disagree, write in. Let us know your siding.
Yes, please do.
But I'll say it's telling. I also did not keep the Apple Arcade subscription. No. I could see the quality. It's certainly like it's great. I don't have any thing against it. I just wasn't playing any of the games.
No, and maybe dip in for another month somewhere else, right? Like I wouldn't keep it going. I could see myself dipping back maybe, but
yeah, somehow you're going to be relegated to your phone only. It's like, I'll just have like a stream of games, but not interesting. Yeah. All right, so let's get through it. So BlizzCon came news like across the board. So I think the biggest ones, there was a World of Warcraft one. We are vastly out of our depth.
Yes.
World of Warcraft, so
not even going to attempt. That is.
Go find yourself a World of Warcraft podcast for that.
No.
But otherwise, we have Overwatch 2, Diablo 4, and a small, kind of a minor one for Hearthstone. Let me just let's just rip through that one first.
Okay.
So I think the interesting one, it's just an update. They've always done updates. So this one's kind of dragon based.
Okay. It's an expansion, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just new cards and that type of stuff. The interest, they are launching a new mode. It's kind of called something to the effect of like auto battle. And that's coming up shortly. You start, there's like a whole number of heroes. I don't have full understanding of it, but it's, as opposed to turn by turn by turn choosing your cards and putting it out, it's more around you choose one of 17 heroes, which have some powers, and then you recruit minions.
Oh, kind of like a coaching thing? That
are a bit more, that and kind of like MOBA. I think it's trying to get a bit more towards like the MOBA type of stuff. So then you recruit those minions and they come in, and then based on your placement, they'll then themselves fight. They'll just automatically attack.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it's much more, it's almost more strategy based than just the actual physical act of like acting out all these cards type of thing.
Yes. Okay.
It's a brand new mode. So it's
sweetening the pot a little bit. Right?
Yeah, I'd be curious to see it. Like how that might play out. Like I don't think I'd want to dive in back to Hearthstone. That's kick that. I'm out of here.
Habits out. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Let's see. So we have Battlegrounds here. Keebler. So we're watching on screen here, and yeah, this actually looks like a Maniac type of new mode.
Oh.
And I don't know if that's another human across the board. Hold on. Let me see if I can get the names. Yeah. Okay, that's a human. That's you versus somebody. And anywho, so there's 20 new heroes. It's a bit more automatic. It's more strategy based where you're not going to choose who attacks who. That's kind of done automatically. So you're a lot more kind of locked in. Which... Man, do you remember when Valve tried to launch a Dota card game? Had you seen anything like that? It didn't do well. Artifact.
It did not. I think it went away very quickly. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, Artifact.
That's what it was. Okay, yes.
Yeah. So it honestly seems a little bit akin to that.
Oh.
So, and I don't know that people hated the concept of Artifact. It just wasn't fun, and nobody wanted to play it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I mean, if they could take some of the interesting ideas from that, but make it fun like Hearthstone is fun. Well, who knows? So I don't know. If you're into Hearthstone, hey, there it is for you.
Give it a shot, yeah.
Okay, so Diablo 4.
Yes.
The trailer was man.
They need to make a movie. I just put the talents to a movie at this point.
Geez. That's exactly what, that is literally what I thought. It's just...
Some of this stuff, remember when they redid the Warcraft, I think it was Warcraft 3 intro because they're remastering it? I'm like... Dudes, it was great back then. My eyes were just blowing out of my skull. And even that, now you're doing the same thing. It's just they're so ahead of the game in some of the animation and effects.
It's amazing. What I'm curious about is, so this cinematic is roughly 9 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just do 6 of these.
Exactly.
And you got to move.
Yeah, yeah. And it was interesting and well acted, and it had this arc to it, and I was excited and scared at the same time for a lot of it.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
I want to know what happens with the characters. And of course, and in truth too, if you think about the cutscenes they'll have in the actual game when it launches, they got to be almost they got to be halfway to a movie.
There you go. Just piece them all together and you have the movie form. But yeah, it looks a lot darker. If you my kids and I are still playing Diablo 3, which is a little bit more, it's got its moments, but it's kind of cartoony-ish. Not cartoony, but the colors are very bright and stuff. And this is kind of it's got more apocalypse horror elements to it, I found. Especially the intro cinematic, and then there's a gameplay video that was released, a short one, but it looks pretty brutal. My kids and I will not be playing this for a while.
Not till they're older.
No, yeah, it's
we can get to the gameplay.
Pretty crazy
here.
though.
It's definitely pretty. Like the player customization, the classes.
Yep.
Like it looks gorgeous. Like the detail on it looks like just stunning.
It does. It looks crisp. It looks. I want to say, it is more detailed than Diablo 3, but it's almost like a Diablo 2 feel to it. It's very, very horror, and I'm wondering how far along they are on it. If this was just kind of like a demo reel, like, hey, something's coming. Just stay tuned, please.
Yeah, and by the time they announce it, they have to be fairly far along. But yeah, it's kind of hard to tell given like sizzle reels and what people have done with it. But
yeah, looks great though.
Yeah, there's some new elements as far as height within games.
Yes.
Yeah. So now like as opposed to just like one level.
Yeah. Even that, it's a game changer. Like, it just adds so much more to the gameplay.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, I love this druid, how he actually turns into different animals. He can rip around it.
Yeah, yeah.
As one of the character classes, yeah. There's a mount, so that she was on a horse. I don't know if that was part of, like, Diablo 3, because I didn't really get very far in it.
No, but still, if this comes to console, which I think they wanted crossplay.
Interesting.
Which will be very interesting. A possible con to it is they announced that it'll be always online, and they haven't really backed down from that yet. Knowing how Diablo 3 launched and the auction house and the online component kind of crippled a lot of it in the beginning, but it got way better with later patches. Maybe this will be the same story, or we'll see how it works out, right? Like, it's hard too early.
Man, I don't know. They always it just that's not been well received anytime something like that's been announced.
No, it's nobody's clapping for that.
Yeah, like no one, like, even whatever benefits they might, they would never be able to do. There's no benefit to gamers.
No,
to have it always online. Like, there'd be nothing you'd be able to explain to people. It's like, no, this will be really good for you, the gamer. You'll be able to. It's like, no, there's nothing good for me. This is all about you and the company, and like making more money or
data,
anything else like that. But
man, it's a barrier for some people, right? So,
oh, for sure. It's just like, I want to going up to looming Christmas. I'm going to be going up to my parents, who have a cottage in the middle of nowhere, for like a week or two. And if I wanted to bring anything to game on, I wouldn't be able to play this game if this was like the new hotness. This is what I wanted to do
with the time that you would have. You'd be like, great.
all the time that I clearly am going to have. Theoretically, everything's in joyful theoretics.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yep. Wishful thinking. Got it.
Wishful. It helps me through. That's what we're going to get into when we get into the Outer Worlds later on.
Yeah.
Okay. Then finally, and speaking of movies, like, I really would like to see an Overwatch movie.
Again, it's just something to it, right? Like, a totally different style, but they've made a mini movie to this.
Oh, it's so but man, I had goosebumps watching this. Like, some of the moments, the cinematic music like swells up. As you had mentioned about the Diablo stuff, there's kind of like an arc. There's a story to it. Characters are fleshed out. They got backstories and like interactions with each other. Like, damn, just make.
Yeah.
And this one's longer. This is actually shorter. Never mind. But anyways, just triple it, like,
cinematography
make 6 of these,
on it, like, it's crazy.
Make 10 of these and give me a movie. Just give me an Overwatch movie.
And I'm not even a big Overwatch fan, but I enjoyed watching this. Like,
the world
I don't
is
really
so
play
cool.
the game, but it's amazing, like the characters and how you just everything going on, and they make everything understandable, because there are so many heroes that you can follow them.
Yeah, like the strong monkey guy, you got Ice Girl, super speeder time lady. Like, it's just fairly clear.
There's some kind of gorilla. I don't know.
Yeah, something gorilla. Okay.
I don't Transformer. It looks kind of neat, and I don't know. Will you be playing it? I probably won't be stepping into it. I'm, again, not a big fan of Overwatch, but it looks pretty neat what they're doing with it.
Yeah, no, I liked Overwatch. I enjoyed the time I had with it. but that was definitely something that went by the wayside as kids became more involved.
Okay, yep.
So the thought, knowing my history, there's just no way I'm going to have time for it. So,
but at least you're being honest.
The only thing that's interesting is in the new one, there's going to be some campaign, like player versus enemy campaigns.
Yeah.
So you get together with like 3 other people and you run off to an actual story campaign. That's kind of cool to be able to do that with these Overwatch characters.
Right.
And the game feels fantastic. Like, it always feels amazing to play this one. I suck at it, so I'm getting killed constantly inside of game.
No fun.
But the thought that you can kind of play like through a game, like through some sort of campaign with other people, that's kind of enticing. It sort of depends on the price too. If they dropped it for $29, $39, $40,
yep.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
If it comes out at like 70 or 80, like, well, what are you going to do with that? What do you want from me?
Again, being honest, dropping honest bombs. Love it.
Actually, hold on. Let's see. Overwatch 2 price.
They can't be charging full price, can it? Well, of course they could.
Enter Overwatch 2, which will be sold as a full game. Whether it costs 30 or 40 or 60 isn't clear yet.
That offers no help. US too, right? So again, just double it for us in Canada, and
it's like $1,000 Canadian.
That's right. That's so many maple syrups.
I think the bigger story with that is, where Blizzard maybe is making a misstep with the always on part of Diablo 4, which that doesn't jive with gaming dads or anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Overwatch 2 here is going to be entirely, for lack of a better term, backwards compatible with Overwatch 1. So if you bought Overwatch 1, you get all the new characters, you get all the new maps, you get all the new modes. So you could totally, not all the modes. You don't get the campaign mode and stuff like that. That's some of the differentiator.
Mm-hmm.
But you get some of this new content. Like they're not throwing out Overwatch. They're just, it's in many ways, you'd call it, you mentioned before the call that is much like a DLC. And that's fairly accurate. It's really an expansion, like a massive expansion to the current game. So everybody who currently enjoys it still gets the benefit from the new stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. That's nice.
Yeah, and that works for them, right? Like, why rebuild that player base with so much other competition out there? Keep who's playing it, possibly entice older players that have left to come back to experience the new stuff, and then have everyone game together. This is what this is all about. So, if they do this right, they'll have that base there, right? That helps us along.
Yeah,
Canada, this cinematic. I swear.
I know.
I just look at it all over again. I'm like, man,
the action is so cool. Like that was part of, like, I just mean like the goosebumps when you're watching it. Like the actions and the characters, how they form together, and they have clearly an emotional tie. I mean, I gotta get my banners right on the video version of this. Like it's always 2 banners back. Yeah. But the emotional ties and the action, like the beats. Like there was a huge robot that the lady was going towards with a bomb to kill him. Hand reaches out, guy comes out just at the corner and slices it. She just goes through it. Yeah. Slow-mo. Like,
again,
amazing looking stuff.
Awesome. Do a movie.
All right, so that's BlizzCon. Huge number of announcements with all the sequels. Overwatch 2, Blizzard 4.
It's a lot there.
A little bit. Yeah. World of Warcraft. Hearthstone.
But another life. Some other life.
But wanted to discuss the Outer Worlds. The Fallout that should have been.
Right. Yes.
So Obsidian comes back. They make a game kind of in a format that they're comfortable in. It's kind of like that's their lane after so successfully creating Fallout New Vegas, which some people still see as the preeminent Fallout game. Yeah. Like the best one, right? Yeah. They say. They get kicked to the curb. Fallout 4, did fairly well. Fallout 4 was okay. I liked Fallout 4. Fallout 4 was good. I don't want to dish it. Fallout 76, however, was just such a... So it's one thing that this game is so amazing on its own in the context that like Fallout 76 was such a disaster.
Yeah.
Like that makes this super interesting. So there's something about this game coming out, it being kind of like a Fallout like. It being in space and being colorful.
Yeah.
All amazing things. No like microtransactions, or at least nothing like notable or worthwhile. Like just critical acclaim across across the board. Like players and critics alike are just stunned by this thing. This is what we've wanted for so much. This game is so amazing. I don't have time to play video games, Jeff.
I was about to say, I'm like, yeah, this is a pretty big game. Again, maybe not as big as Fallout, but it's sizable.
But it's just like it. I want them to keep making games.
Yes.
Like I want them to be rewarded for this effort of somebody who just loves video games, loves the industry of video games, wants to see it as a genre continue.
Yeah.
Just to know that something like this was created so passionately with such care and love, and like much like God of War when that one came out.
Right.
What's the one with the woman versus the robots?
Woman versus the robots.
It's a huge open world, futuristic. Like humanity's fallen, huge robots go to the land. You have to skulk
Horizon
around.
Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes, yeah.
See, those type of gems come along, and it's just you want to almost vote with your wallet and say yes, thank you,
keep going.
This is amazing,
right?
So that's where I'm at with this game, where it's like, man, I almost want to buy it full well knowing I may not play.
Yeah, no, I get you. Like this kind of came out to fill that gap that was there from Fallout 76. Like people were clamoring for, again, something of this genre to play, and the fact that I'm really into like the sci-fi setting. Like I haven't been too much into the Fallout world, like with the apocalypse and grays, browns, and disaster, but this looks very appealing to me. Almost not Mass Effect like, but I really like the sci-fi-ness of Mass Effect as well. So even looking at this, I'm like, damn, do I have time?
Like there's as opposed to one wasteland, there's 7. I think there's like 7 or so planets.
Yeah.
Your ship kind of acts as the hub, so that's where you go to between like various planets.
Which is neat. Like that's a different change in landscape and stuff, and alien things, and
I like the visual. I like the color palette. Like so, it's vibrant, fresh. Like the colors throughout the land, so it's not dismal and gray and brown.
Accessible. Apparently, the director I think is colorblind.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's like right out the gate, colorblind friendly, at least partial.
Oh, that's cool.
It's kind of neat. Yeah, but very vibrant and very almost like these like neon touches to it. It just looks fun.
Yeah.
It's like I want to be there.
Yeah, tongue-in-cheek dialogue. Like apparently the characters are just phenomenal. Like all your NPCs are like you're interested with them. Like cool stories, like you want to know about them.
Right. So, once you finish what, Borderlands 3, then you can...
That one I'm making some decent progress.
Okay,
I haven't beat it yet.
Yeah.
But at least I'm certainly playing it at least. That I'm still loving, but yeah. I don't know. Maybe when I beat that, I could finally dip in. We'll have to see. As I said, it would certainly be because I want to play it.
Yes, I agree.
But if for nothing else, it might just be because I just want these type of games to exist in the world. For when I retire.
Again, retirement plan. It's good. It's good. I like that.
At some point, I'll have games. But with that, we'll wrap it up for the week. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening and sticking with us as we go through some growing pains with the kids and try to figure out our gaming schedule, our recording schedule, let alone our gaming schedule. God help us. But thanks so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you could find us at our website, New Dad Gaming, and also on Instagram and Twitter. Just search for New Dad Gaming. Would love to hear from you with gaming tips, ideas, if you're going to be dipping into the new Blizzard stuff or the Outer Worlds, if you might recommend it. Heck, even your opinions on Switch versus an Apple Arcade and iPad setup. What are you rocking in your houses? If you'd like to download the podcast, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and all the other podcasting services. And most importantly, if you can please give us a rating and a review. We'd much appreciate it as we try to reach out to as many gaming dads as possible. So, till next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old.
All right. We'll see you next week.
All right. See ya.